Hello, welcome to Voices in the Wilderness. My name is Pastor Lorraine Bouffard. I'm Bishop of the Diocese of Connecticut for the American Ecumenical Catholic Church. I'd like to ask you a question. If you can live without caffeine, be cheerful, ignore your aches and pains, not complain, enjoy the same food every day, take criticism, blame without resentment, not be bothered by a friend's limited education, treat a poor friend the same way you would treat a rich friend, face the world without lying or deceit, relax without liquor, sleep without the aid of drugs, and if you can honestly say that deep in your heart you have no prejudice against creed, color, religion, gender, orientation, or politics, then, my friends, you have reached the same level of development as your dog. Our show this evening is about how special dogs and pets are to us. And we're going to be speaking about the difficulty that we have in mourning the loss of a pet. And my guest with me this evening is Father Mickey Danyluk. Mickey, welcome on the show again.
You,
I almost shouldn't call you a guest. I should call you my semi-co-host, because you do come on and give us some valuable things to think about. You asked me, for a very good reason, to do a show on mourning the loss of pets. What happened to you recently?
I lost my pet dog, Tori, on the day before Thanksgiving. She was a co-therapist with me. She visited the people in the nursing home with me. She was always by my side. She had turned 11 the previous September.
And we have a picture of Tori here, don't we?
Yeah.
And I'm going to hold that up and see if the camera can focus in on Tori. Well, how did you get to call your dog Tori?
Well, I had a roommate some time ago, and he had never had a dog and wanted a dog. So he asked me to come along and pick out a dog. And so we went to Torrington, and he selected the smallest. Well, I kind of encouraged him to take the smallest dog of the
That's called the runt of the litter.
The runt of the litter. And because he wanted to call her Brownie, and I said, oh, we'll call her Tori because she's from Torrington.
And what kind of a breed is that?
A beagle, 13-inch beagle.
Yes.
Uno, who won the awards last year or the year before, was a 15-inch beagle, but Tori was smaller.
So what kinds of things happened when you lost Tori?
Let me just turn this around so that we can see. Well, Tori had suffered. She was 11 years old, and in January of '09, I would have had her for 11 years. My friend was no longer able to take care of her. She became my dog. I had trained her, spent a lot of time with her, and I had sold my house and was living without her. And then he said, you know, I can't take care of her anymore. Would you take her? So she was a very special girl. I won't call her a dog. I'll call her a girl. I stayed with my sister's family for a while. They were allergic to pet dander, and so my sister said to me, as my niece got ill, you're going to have to make other arrangements. So I stayed in a friend's basement for 3 or 4 weeks. Some other friends had a house for sale. They said, why don't you come over here? And then when that house was sold, I moved yet to another place. But my life revolved around what Tori needed. Tori was my playful self. I'm an intense, serious person, and yet with Tori I could play. I allowed myself to play. So she was more than just a pet. She was sort of an extension of myself. Or through my interactions with her, I could become
lighthearted.
Lighthearted, thank you.
You know, the thing about pets that we have is that the way I see it is, we know, but don't usually think about this, that pets that come into our lives, first of all, they're gifts, all right? And not everyone is blessed with a pet that they bond with. The bonding relationship is not a lifelong one, because we know pets do not live the same amount of time as human beings do. And as a gift to us, they come to us for a reason. And I think you just kind of mentioned maybe what that reason was, or what you had to learn with Tori.
Well, I've learned a number of lessons. The first is how to play, not take life so seriously. The sense of trust is just incredible, that a pet would place so much trust in us. And I have some cue cards here just to cover all that I want to say, pardon me. She was always glad to see me. She loved me unconditionally. She never talked about me behind my back.
Yeah.
And she appreciated the smallest efforts that I made. And as I said, she was an extension of myself, a play self. I had written, after she died, I expected her to become ill. She had been sick for 2.5 years. She had liver and kidney problems, and I knew that day was coming. I just didn't expect it to be the day before Thanksgiving. We went to bed as we usually do, and she woke me up, and she was ill in the middle of the night. Mm-hmm. And so my prayer in all of this was that when the time came, I would have no question about what I needed to do, and that it would come come as a surprise. I mean, that I wouldn't be prepared for it. I would be worrying about it, and it was very clear what I needed to be done. She was passing a lot of blood. And so anyway, the next day I put together a flyer for friends and for myself. I made a collage of pictures, and I wrote an obituary for the paper because she was so well known. If I can just
Please do,
read through this.
You know, these things that Father Mickey has done would be well for you to know when you are going to go through the loss of a pet or know somebody it is, because we're trying to give you some therapeutic interventions. And I think you did these more or less out of just needing to do it. But I think what he has done is something that's very worthwhile paying attention to. So you put together...
So you can hold up the original. The pictures are perhaps more clear on the original.
They may glare. That's the only problem.
Okay.
If they glare, just...
Tori from Torrington, the tricolored 13-inch beagle who brought much joy to hundreds of nursing home residents and their families, died of urinary disease Wednesday, November 26, 2008 at Suffield Veterinary Hospital. She was 75 years old. Born in Torrington on September 29, 1997, the runt of 10, her breeder sold her at half price, saying the puppy wouldn't amount to much. Tori would have the best home of all the doggies, and she would be the most distinguished. She was a working girl, and with her sweet and gentle manner, Tori was a natural for one-to-one visits, enhancing the lives of dementia patients at 2 nursing homes. In her leisure, Tori delighted in howling at mailmen, tracking scents here and there in New Hampshire, eating snacks, tunneling beneath bed covers. Tori's antics will be recalled by all who knew her, especially her friends and her family. She leaves a legacy challenging us to be the persons that she imagined us to be. I think that's significant. A dog will look at us and think that we're so wonderful. Are we really the wonderful person that they think we are? I think that's a challenge to us. And
you know, you ask a question, and I don't think we want to believe that we are as wonderful as we are. Mm-hmm. But I think if we were to have, maybe it's no mistake that the word dog is got backwards.
Oh, God. Yeah.
That I think God would tell us the same thing our pets show us, mm-hmm. that we are loved and we are special.
Her, this last line from her obituary says, "What a beautiful